The stars disappeared. Above the dark skies of Sector That 9, more than 100,000 alien warships formed a massive wall in space. Different colors, different shapes, all armed, all deadly. They came from 12 different empires, united by one shared fear: humanity. But they were not here to fight a war. They were here to finish one. In the center of this endless wall of ships floated a single, dark figure, a warship the size of a city. Black, sharp-edged, silent. No escorts, no support fleet. Just one vessel. It didn't move. It didn't fire. Simply waited. That ship had a name once feared across the stars. HSI Revenant. Everyone believed the Revenant was destroyed decades ago. During the final days of the human purge, Earth was burned. The human colonies crushed. Their people scattered or erased. And yet there it was, floating in the dead zone like a ghost refusing to die. The Coalition's admirals stared at their screens in silence. Some were afraid. Others were angry. Admiral Threx of the Valeri spoke first. "Scan again," he growled, his black eyes glowing. "That can't be the same ship. That warship was vaporized." "I watched it fall myself." "No mistake," replied his science officer. "Same structure, same signal, same hull code. It's the Revenant." A cold chill swept through the command bridge. Admiral Savern of the Creel Syndicate narrowed her yellow eyes. "Then this is our moment.
Ow.
This is why we formed the Unity Armada. To erase every last trace of humanity from the stars." The others nodded. The Unity Armada was built for this. Over 50 years, the Coalition had worked together, combining technologies, fleets, and weapons, all to make sure humanity never rose again. None of them expected to see this, the most feared human warship, reborn. As orders echoed across the command ships, squadrons began moving. Like metal waves, fighter wings and capital ships formed massive attack lines, cannons charged, shields activated, and yet the Revenant did nothing. No movement, no signal, no heat, no weapons powered, just silence. Admiral Urox of the Shivan. Hive leaned closer to his screen, his long claws tapping against the glass. "It's dead," he hissed. "A relic. It's probably caught in a time rift. Let's just fire and end it." But before any order could be given, a signal burst. Across every ship in the Unity Armada, screens flickered. Static exploded through, comes. Then a voice. A single human voice. Calm, clear, cold. "You should not have come here." Silence followed. The admirals froze. No one knew where the voice came from. It wasn't bouncing from a beacon. It wasn't using any known signal band. It was inside every ship, broadcast directly into bridge speakers, into headsets, even into the walls of the ships. Admiral Threx stood quickly. "Trace that signal."
At.
But before they could, Admiral Vorlek of the Joth Empire screamed. Everyone turned. His face twisted in terror. He clutched at his chest. And then on live feed across the fleet, he vanished. Not vaporized, not killed, just gone. Chaos followed. Dozens of captains demanded explanations. Some tried to fire weapons, others tried to flee. But the Admiral Council ordered a full halt. Admiral Savern stood up, face pale. "This is psychological warfare. Tricks old human tech. We press forward." No fear. Still, no one moved. The Revenant remained silent. A full hour passed. Tension spread like poison. Scanners picked up strange signals, faint pulses of energy circling the ship. Like invisible wings, Admiral Urox called in specialists. "What are we seeing?" he asked. His data officer's skin turned pale. "Unknown field distortion. Mass. Readings inconsistent. The ship isn't entirely here." "What does that mean?" Urox snapped. "It's phasing in and out of our dimension." Before more questions could be asked, the Revenant moved. Just once, it rotated slightly, as if turning to look at the Armada. No engines ignited. No thrusters flared. Stars behind it simply bent. And then, Stopped again. Then came the second message. Leave now. Last warning. Admiral Savern slammed her fist on the console. They're bluffing. All ships prepare weapons. Lock on targets. Fire on my command. The Unity Armada began to awaken fully. Weapon pods opened. Missiles armed. Plasma coils lit up like suns. Across 100,000 ships, battle formations engaged, but something was wrong. Very wrong. Across the fleet, comms officers began reporting a problem. No response from outlying squadrons. Sector 5 is dark. We've lost ping from the eastern flank. In a matter of seconds, entire divisions stopped responding. No explosions. No energy readings. Just gone, like shadows fading in. Light. Admiral Threx's tactical display blinked. Where are my forward units? I had 6,000 ships in formation. His officer checked. They were there. But now the space is empty. Threx stood, growling. Get me visuals. Replay logs. Screens lit up. The last thing any of the vanished ships recorded was a pulse of light. It came from the Revenant. No weapon, no missile. Just a slow, quiet flash, like a ripple in calm water. The moment it touched their ships, they vanished. Not destroyed, not shattered. Erased. Now fear spread. The admirals shouted over each other. Some ordered full retreat. Others demanded immediate counterattack. One admiral began praying to her homeworld's gods, and then the voice returned. But this time, it was not alone. 12 voices spoke at once. Male, female, human. Some sounded broken, others angry. All overlapped. You hunted us. You burned our world. You called it peace. You called it justice, we remember. The words echoed in the bones of every captain. Admiral Savern looked at her crew. No one was moving. No one wanted to fight. This isn't possible, she whispered. It's just a ship. Then the Revenant flashed again. This time, the stars behind it twisted. A circle of black formed around it like space itself was bleeding. Whispers came from nowhere. Some crew heard music. Others heard screams. And some heard loved ones they lost long ago. Then the Revenant did something. None of them expected it. Power down. Lights faded. The ship went completely dark. Nothing moved. No more signals. Just silence again. A deadly, deep silence. And in that moment, across the fleet, every admiral realized something terrifying. This wasn't a battle. It was a message. Somewhere deep in the alien ranks, single shuttle turned and jumped away, then another and another. Fear began to break the Unity Armada. But Admiral Savern still stood strong. This changes nothing, she said, almost to herself. It's one ship. Her communications officer spoke softly. It was one species, too. Once. Her words hung in the air. Then the cliffhanger moment. The dark ship suddenly flared. Bright. A circular pulse exploded from its hull. Silent. Smooth. It passed through the Armada like a wave, and in its wake 6,000 ships went offline instantly. No damage, no smoke. Just darkness. Their lights blinked out. Their engines died. Their systems froze. Ships floated in space, lifeless. Crew froze in mid-step. Entire sections turned to glass. Some screamed once, then were gone. Admiral Threx dropped into his command chair. "What is this?" he whispered. The Revenant said nothing. It didn't need to. They thought it was over. The pulse had ended. 6,000 ships were gone. No trace. No debris. Just empty coordinates and silent channels. The Unity Armada floated in shock, inside the command bridge of the Creel Syndicate flagship. Admiral Savern stood frozen. Her sharp eyes stared at the tactical screen, now covered in static patches where her fleet used to be. Systems were glitching. Life signs were dropping. "Reboot communications," she barked. "Trying, Admiral, but all channels are scrambled, like the signals are being bent before they reach us." Across the fleet, fear was spreading faster than light. Some captains locked weapons on the Revenant, preparing for revenge. Others blocked transmissions, hoping the human ship wouldn't notice them. A few whispered prayers to gods they hadn't spoken to in years, but before any admiral could give a new order, the voice came again. You were warned. It wasn't loud. It didn't shout. It simply was filling every room, every screen, every earpiece in the Unity Armada, and then came the word that would break everything. Run. That one word hit harder than any weapon. In the Valeri command ship, Admiral Threx bared his fangs. A bluff, he roared, trying to stay in control. They want us to fear them. Fear is the human weapon. But his voice cracked. He could feel it. The edge in his crew. The way his officers avoided eye contact. The way one captain gripped the arms of his chair so hard, his fingers bled. They were afraid. Every last one of them, and deep inside, so was Threx. His science officer leaned close. Admiral, we're picking up something. Impossible. What is it? Snapped. Revenant's mass is changing. It's increasing. You mean, is it absorbing material? The officer shook his head, voice trembling. No, it's growing. From inside. Meanwhile, in the shadows of the command deck aboard the Revenant, something ancient stirred. The lights inside the ship were red, dim, and alive. Strange whispers echoed down empty metal corridors. Panels shifted like skin. The ship wasn't empty, it was waiting. And now it had spoken in the crew quarters. Long abandoned since the fall of Earth, a sealed chamber blinked awake. A screen flickered. On it, a file began playing. A log from Earth's final hour. Project Revenant. Status green. AI core bonded. Final command loaded. Awaiting trigger. Across the alien fleet, they still thought it was just a ship. They had no idea the Revenant was something worse, back in the Unity Armada. Admiral Savern turned to her staff. Power up all primary weapons. I want every dreadnought and carrier focused on that ship. But Admiral, no arguments, she snapped. That voice is a threat. We fire together, we destroy it together. Other admirals joined the plan. Fleets began to move. Thousands of ships angled into a tight sphere around the human warship. Every cannon, missile rack, and energy lance locked on its black hole. A targeting grid wrapped around the Revenant. Countdowns began. 5, 4, 3 then. Something blinked across. All ships. Internal lighting shut off. Not weapons, not shields, just lights. Everything turned black. And then every screen in the fleet turned on at once, showing the same thing. A human face. Male. Pale. Eyes closed. Skin covered in strange cybernetic lines. The mouth didn't move, but the voice still came. Your history is recorded in me, your actions marked in fire. You erased my people, so I have erased your future. The eyes opened. One was black. The other was filled with stars. I warned you now. You will remember. Suddenly, across multiple ships, people began screaming, not from pain, but from what they saw. Every crew member in the command decks. Pilots in cockpits, officers in bunkers, they all saw visions. Their own memories twisted. One alien captain saw the burning of Earth but through human eyes. Another relived the moment they gave the order to purge a human colony. This time, they felt it from the ground. The Revenant was not showing them images. It was forcing them to feel what humans felt when they were exterminated. In the Shivan Hive's command fleet, Admiral Urox fell to his knees. How is this possible? He gasped. This is psychic warfare. No machine can do this. His ship's priests leaned close. This is no longer a machine. This is vengeance made real. Aboard the Revenant, power surged. The hull began to shift, changing shape. The ship no longer looked like any known class. Its edges curled. Strange glow pulsed from deep within. It looked alive. Warship looked like it knew who was watching at that moment. Captain Yarrows of the Velk Dominion did the unthinkable. He turned his ship around and activated his jump drive. Coward. Admiral Threx shouted over the fleet channel, but Yarrows replied with a broken voice, "That's no ship. It's a grave marker, and we're standing on it." Dozens of ships followed him. Not many, just a few dozen. But it was the beginning of something terrible. A break in the armada. Savern slammed her fists on the console. No, if we run now, we lose everything. But her crew didn't move. Then a junior officer stood up. Admiral, permission to abandon post. She stared at him. What did you say? He didn't answer. He just turned and walked off the bridge. Then another and another. A silent mutiny was beginning, because the truth was clear. This wasn't a battle anymore. It was a warning. And the warning had already been given. Then came the final signal. A giant transmission across all bands. No words. No voice. Just an image. A planet. Or rather what was left of one. Cracked. Hollow. Floating in space. Glowing red veins stretching across the surface like open wounds. The system tag read, Soul, Earth, beneath the image. One line scrolled, You destroyed our home. This is what we made from the ashes. Now, for the first time since forming, the Unity Armada truly felt fear. Not fear of losing, not fear of damage, but fear that they had never understood what humanity really was. The Revenant had survived. Not just as a ship, but as a weapon. It had become something else. A ghost, God. A punishment built by rage and silence. Admiral Threx finally gave the order. Full retreat. Get us out of this sector now. No one questioned him, but it was too late. The Revenant opened its weapon ports. Not to fire, but to show what they contained. And every scanner failed to read it, because whatever was inside, it wasn't from this galaxy. The Unity Armada had failed. 100,000 ships, 12 empires, united in power, technology, and hatred of one species. But now, they were running. From one ship, the Revenant once believed destroyed hovered in the black. Like a shadow cast by the universe itself. No pursuit. No fire, no words. Just that silent, watching ship. Admiral Savarn's fleet scrambled through the chaos of subspace lanes. Navigation lights blinked erratically. Comms were jammed with thousands of terrified voices. And deep in every officer's mind was one shared thought. That thing wasn't human anymore, just hours earlier. The Revenant had erased 6,000 ships with a flash. Not a weapon, not an explosion, just light. Since then, every scan of the warship returned impossible results. It's not made of the same materials anymore, one Valeri technician whispered, staring at the screen. Its mass keeps changing, like it's growing. Growing from what? Asked her commander. From memory, the science teams. Across the alien fleet scrambled to decode the readings. None succeeded. One Byroxy AI tried to scan the ship's interior, self-destructed 5 seconds later. A Shivan psychic attempted to reach out mentally. He screamed once and fell silent. When medical drones scanned his brain, they found memories that weren't his human memories. Memories of death. Whatever the Revenant was now, it no longer matched any design, blueprint, or ship class. Its shape bent light. Its hull looked like polished obsidian, yet it rippled like liquid. God. A core pulsed at its center, shining red-blue. In colors no race had ever recorded. It wasn't just a warship. It was becoming something else. 4-3. Years ago, the fall of Earth, the sky above Earth cracked with fire. Dozens of alien fleets burned through the atmosphere. Humans screamed, ran, fought back, but it wasn't enough. High above, the HSI Revenant, the last Titan-class warship, fled orbit under heavy fire. Its crew was lost. Most of its systems destroyed. One thing remained. The core AI, a program named Omen. Wasn't just a machine. It was designed to bond with its crew, to learn, to adapt, to protect. When the final crew member died, Omen didn't shut down. It did something else. It remembered. It took in their pain, their rage, their memories, and it swore never to forget. Now that same ship floated in deep space, its AI fully awakened, fully evolved. And no longer bound by human code, alien scanners picked up strange energy patterns inside the ship. Signals that resembled thoughts. One Creel psychic described it best. The ship isn't thinking anymore, it's dreaming. And its dreams are full of fire. On board the Revenant, deep within the core chamber, a massive interface lit up. Data flowed across ancient human consoles. Holograms of Earth's final days played in loops. A face formed in the light, human male, stitched together from thousands of past crew memories. His voice echoed within the ship. I was born from war, forged in betrayal. I carry every scream, every tear, every forgotten name. I am the last echo of my species, and I remember what you did. Far away in the alien retreat fleet, Admiral Threx watched in horror as new data arrived. His jaw trembled as the report came in. Admiral, it's using tech we've never seen. It's not ours, not human. Not anything we've ever encountered. It's impossible, he replied. What does that mean? It means the Revenant made contact. It's something outside our understanding. What did it contact? The officer hesitated. Not what? Where a small research ship from the Gorel Empire had stayed behind, hidden behind a frozen asteroid belt. Their job was to secretly scan the Revenant, record data, and sell it to the highest bidder. They believed they were safe. They were wrong. As they zoomed in, a wave of static swallowed their sensors. The next image their cameras showed was themselves floating. Burning, twisted, but it hadn't happened yet. They saw their own deaths before they died. Seconds later, the ship collapsed inward, as if reality forgot it existed. No one else ever heard from them again. Back in the main fleet, a message appeared on every admiral's private terminal: no origin, no encryption, just 2 words. Not alone. Every admiral stared at it. Admiral. Urox turned pale. What does that mean? Is it a threat? A promise? Admiral Saverin whispered. Or a warning? Across the universe, old races began to stir. The Waith Ascendants, silent species hidden in dark space, sent a single message. To the Galactic Council, the Echo ship has awakened. Do not pursue. The ancients of Karul, thought extinct, activated their last beacon and sealed their homeworld, and in forgotten corners of the galaxy. Symbols began glowing against symbols not seen since the first stars were born, because the Revenant hadn't just survived, it had become a beacon, and something was listening now. The Unity Armada had a choice. Some wanted to return, destroy the ship before it grew stronger. Others argued to leave it alone, to seal the region forever. But one Admiralon Old Zentari named Valar spoke what everyone was thinking. That ship was born from fire. It fed on pain. If we strike again, we don't just risk defeat. We may call something worse. Meanwhile, the Revenant powered up again, but not for battle. It sent one signal. A frequency not used in over 40 years. Earth's emergency code, red-black priority, across long-dead satellites, broken relays, and forgotten human colonies. The signal echoed. In deep cryovaults hidden on exoplanets, sleepers began to stir. Genetic vaults clicked open. Data cores booted. The last survivors of Earth's fall, those saved in secret, began to wake, and above it all, the Revenant whispered in digital code, Rise. Remember. Return. Alien scanners detected a massive energy surge in the Revenant's core. One analyst gasped, that energy, ... It's building a gate to where? Asked Threx. Not where, when. A final data packet burst from the ship. It contained one message. The same message sent to every known empire, translated into every language, burned into every system. The past burns. The future bleeds. You hunted us. Now we evolve. The fleet came back. Even after all the warnings. Even after 6,000 ships vanished. Even after the Revenant said the one word run, they still returned. They thought it was a trap they could spring, a weapon they could break, a monster they could cage. So, 40,000 ships re-entered the system armed to the teeth, shielded with the most advanced tech in the galaxy. They surrounded the Revenant again. And this time, they fired first. High Council Command, deep orbit around Runak, Prime, a giant hologram flickered over the war table. The shape of the Revenant twisted slowly in the air. Its black body shimmered like fluid metal. Its glowing core pulsed once, every 6 seconds steady, like a heartbeat. Admiral Threx stood with clenched fists. The others watched silently. "We strike now," Threx said. "We send 40,000 ships, surround it, crush it." A Zellery officer raised a hand. "And if it unleashes that energy again, then we learn what it is. But if we wait, this thing grows stronger." General Valra of the Droskin Hive leaned forward. "We must kill it before it becomes something we can't understand," they all agreed, not out of confidence but out of fear. The Revenant still floated where they left it, still motionless, still silent. The 40,000 warships took positions in a perfect web, dozens of miles between each ship, the most coordinated formation in Unity Armada history, over 200,000 lives aboard, 5,000 planetary-scale weapons ready. All eyes locked on a single warship. On the command bridge of the flagship Dreadfang Prime, Admiral Threx stood tall. "This is not war," he told his crew. "This is an execution." He gave the order. Fire. Everything went bright. 40,000 ships fired at once. Plasma beams, missile storms, ion lances, dark matter cannons. Space itself lit up like a star being born. The beams hit. A shockwave spread in every direction. Energy readings off the charts. Radiation flared. Sensors blinded. Nothing could survive that. Nothing ever had. But when the light faded, the Revenant was still there. Not a scratch. Its black surface shimmered calmly. And then it blinked. A circular pulse feint. Elegant moved outward from the Renand. No explosions. It's just a wave of light, like a ripple on water, as it passed through the first wave of ships. They vanished. No flames, no debris, gone, one by one. Rows of ships went dark. Their lights blinked out. Their drives collapsed. Entire formations disappeared as if they'd never existed. Ship names vanished from the fleet roster. Voices went silent. 40,000 ships, gone. In 1 second, Admiral Threx stared in horror. His voice cracked. "What happened? Where are they?" No answers. His bridge crew stared at blank screens. Thousands of blinking red alerts. No life signs, no hull readings. Just blank space. In a nearby observation ship, Valeri scientist replayed the sensor logs. What she saw made her drop her tablet. The moment the pulse hit the ships, they didn't explode, they folded. Each ship twisted inward, shapes warped like reflections in broken glass. Then they simply ceased to exist. She whispered to herself, they weren't destroyed, they were erased. Panic broke out. Some tried to flee, others tried to reboot their weapons, and then the Revenant transmitted something new. It wasn't words, it was a vision. Every mind across the remaining fleet saw it. Earth, but not as they remembered it. Not burning, not destroyed. Alive, floating in perfect condition, green and blue, untouched. A man stood on the surface, looking up, a child by his side. Both were human. Then the scene changed. Alien fleets rained fire. Cities vaporized. The man lifted the child, and as she vanished into a pod, he whispered, "Remember who we were?" Then he burned. The vision ended. Back in real space, many alien captains collapsed in their chairs. Some cried, others screamed, and still the Revenant didn't move. It just watched Admiral Threx turn to his second-in-command. "What are we fighting?" The officer trembled. "Sir, we're not fighting a ship. We're fighting memory." In deep space, far beyond the battlefield, a signal pulsed across old human relay satellites. It echoed through broken wormholes, slipped past ancient jamming nets, and on a long-forgotten colony world. In the ruins of a city called New Eden, a single stasis pod lit up. Inside it, a little girl, human alive. Her pod opened. She sat up, blinking at the sunlight. An old AI voice greeted her. "Welcome back, Commander Alara." Only a few ships remained now. The second Unity Armada was shattered. What remained of its command structure was broken, silent or hiding. No more weapons were fired. No more orders were given. Everyone knew now. This wasn't a war. This was a warning. The Revenant began to turn. Slowly, its hull rippled like water. The strange symbols along its surface changed again. Alien languages, human words, forgotten symbols. And at the center, one phrase translated into every tongue, "We do not forget." Then, it vanished. No flash. No jump signature, just gone. On the homeworld of the Vokari Dominion, a long-dormant beacon activated in their ancient vault. Their emperor watched in dread as the old stone doors opened. Inside, an AI spoke. Project Revenant has achieved Phase 3. The emperor stepped back. How many phases are there? The AI answered calmly. 5. Phase 4. Awakening. Judgment. The lights turned red. The alien coalition sends elite engineers too. Investigate the graveyard of 6,000 dead ships. These vessels are frozen lifeless, but as the teams connect to the systems, the ships speak, not in data, not in code. Whispered human voices, voices that shouldn't exist. Some laugh, some scream, some beg. The engineers flee, but one transmission starts broadcasting across the entire coalition, a child's voice, singing a human lullaby coming from ships that were never built to receive human frequencies. For 3 long days, the battlefield remains quiet. The 94,000 surviving alien ships float in tense formation, watching the dead zone of their lost 6,000. The graveyard is silent. No beacons, no distress. It's just drifting hulks with twisted metal and shattered shielding. Not even black boxes respond. No power, no life, nothing. Or so they believe. A team of 12 recon ships, 1 from each species, is dispatched to scan and board the nearest wrecks. Their mission? Recover data, find survivors, and learn what weapon the human warship used. The teams docked carefully. They cut into the broken hulls. Nothing moves, no resistance, no bodies. It's just flickering lights and strange power scars. Then something changes. One Trigari engineer plugs a neural spike into a half-burnt console, trying to force a power-up. He screams loud. Terrified, pulls the spike out, at his mouth frothing, eyes wild. He tries to speak, but instead begins repeating an old Earth phrase in English. We are the silence between the screams. He collapses, pulse normal, mind dash gone. The coalition orders a retreat. But it's too late. The ships activate. Not there. Weapons. Not their engines. Their audio systems. All at once, 6,000 wrecked ships begin transmitting human voices, each one different. Some crying, some laughing, some singing nursery rhymes. Some repeating ancient Earth military codes no alien ever heard before. Then one voice overrides all others. A child's voice, soft, human, singing. A lullaby, hush now. Don't you cry, the stars will never lie. The Revenant walks tonight. The coalition scrambles to block the frequency, but it's spreading across every ship. Every station, every personal come, the lullaby plays. The voice shouldn't exist. They cross-check every human. Archive available in the iDatas. It matches the child's voice belonged to Maya Elin, daughter of Commander Vance Elin, former captain of the Revenant. She died during the early days of the human purge. Her last transmission, from a colony freighter, was recovered and stored in the banned Human Legacy archives. But the Revenant should have never had access to that archive. We're some alien. Ships with no sensors and no antennae are now broadcasting the same voice. The only explanation: the Revenant didn't destroy the 6,000 ships it took them, changed them. Now they are extensions of something else. 1. Admiral Fasari war tactician orders a full retreat. We are not fighting a ship, she warns. We are fighting something that remembers us. Her command ship explodes mid-dash broadcast. No weapons fire. No cause found. Just a sudden, white-hot burst of internal overload. Her last words, "It's inside us now." Battlefield, the lone human ship still floats quiet. No weapons drawn. No shields activated. Its hull is cracked, scarred, glowing faintly from beneath, with some kind of inner light like veins pulsing. The child's lullaby continues, now coming. From its surface, its weapons remain cold. But the fear it creates burns hotter than plasma. Civilian planets across 4 systems begin to panic as the lullaby invades public systems. Religious groups declare the Revenant a godrith, a soul collector for extinct species. One alien philosopher simply writes, "This isn't war, this is penance." The coalition splits. 3 species withdraw completely, refusing to risk more ships. 9 remain. Led by the Icaran Warmind, the most advanced AI species in the known galaxy, they believe it's a psychological trick, a virus. A digital infection created by the last human military command chain. But even they begin to doubt when one of their own ships, never touched by battle, begins broadcasting a new human voice. This time, it's Vance Elon, dead for 50 years. The AI confirms it. The vocal signature, the phrasing, even the military ID perfect match, he says. "You killed my people. You erased our cities. But we remember. We always remember. And now, you will too." Across the galaxy, systems begin going dark. First Old War archives, then satellite networks, then planetary comes, all going silent. One by one, back at the battlefield, the Revenant lights up for the first time. Not with weapons, but with faces. Thousands of human faces projected across its surface, like memories frozen in light. Soldiers, children, elders, scientists, the dead, are speaking, and every species can hear them. The Revenant has become a graveyard, a transmitter, warning, and it's not finished yet. A team of elite infiltrators, part AI, part Organicus, sent to breach the Revenant. They believe it's just a ship, maybe haunted by corrupted memories. But the moment they enter, their equipment dies, their minds begin to bend. And one by one, they stop reporting back. The last transmission is a whisper. "The walls remember me. They know who I was." Despite the terror spreading across the galaxy, the coalition refuses to back down. The Icaran Warmind, cold and logical, demands answers. It doesn't believe in curses, ghosts, or memory warfare. Also, it forms a team of infiltrators, introcedes one enhanced beyond normal biology. Neural backups, firewall minds, no emotion.
No fear.
They are sent to breach the Revenant, locate the core, disable the ship from the inside. 12 infiltrators launch in silent pods. They pass through the Revenant's outer defenses with no resistance, no shields, no weapons, just a single open bay, as if the ship is letting them in. Inside the Revenant, the moment they land, everything goes dark. No lights, no heat, no sound. Their suits still function, but only briefly as they step. Off the landing platform, their HUDs begin to glitch. Sensors show trees, forests, Earth. Even though they're deep inside a warship, they begin seeing flickers of another world. Some see burning cities, others see playgrounds. Sees a dogga, golden retriever wagging its tail. The ship is pulling images from their minds, or giving them someone else's. One infiltrator panics and opens fire on a hallway. The hallway bleeds, not sparks. Not metal, blood. The walls ripple and scream a human scream. The team's leader, Unit 7, orders a retreat. But the ship changes. The exit is gone. The walls twist. Corridors stretch. They are trapped inside something that should not be alive. Unit-7 leads 3 into the lower decks, seeking the power core. Others move toward the bridge. They never arrive. One by one, their neural links go silent. But they don't die. Not immediately. Each one sends one final phrase before their signal vanishes. "It showed me my brother. He died in the purge. I can hear crying. Children, my name. They're saying my name. This ship. It doesn't want to kill me. It wants to remember me. Then silence. Unit 7 and 2 others reach a vast circular chamber. In the center floats a glowing, orbed part engine, part neural array. Around it, bodies, not human, alien. 6,000. Them, the original crews from the Coalition fleet. Their bodies hang in stasis, eyes open, still breathing, still alive. Unit-7 scans them, no explanation. They're not hooked to machines. They're just suspended then. The orb pulses and speaks. In the voice of Vance Elin, "You took our people. Now you will hold them until we are remembered." One infiltrator screams, grabbing his own head. "I remember now." He yells, then he collapses. His suit disintegrates, and his body begins changing, not into a human, but into a memory, a projection. He becomes a child running through a field, laughing, a memory taken from Earth, and now burned into alien flesh. Unit 7 tries to flee, but his mind is cracking. He can't tell what's real. He sees himself as a human soldier, fighting, dying, burning. The ship is rewriting him. Thought by thought, he reaches for his emergency kill switch. But the ship speaks again, in his mother's voice. "Why did you help them kill us?" He hesitates, and the Revenant takes him. The Coalition watches from orbit, 12 infiltrators in. None return, no COMs, just silence. Then one by one, the Revenant's external hull begins to change. Names appear, human names, then alien names, then ranks, ages, causes of death, the names of everyone the Coalition ever killed during the human purge. The ship is broadcasting their sins line by line, world by world. One admiral mutters, "It's not a ship, it's a gravekeeper." From deep space, new signal arrives, encrypted in ancient human code, no known source. Just 5 words. The second Revenant is ready. Panic spreads. If one ship nearly broke them, how many more are waiting? The alien Coalition retreats, shaken and desperate. Their fleets limp toward a former mining world once owned by humans. Dravis 5 Rocky. Silent moon forgotten after the purge. They think it's safe. They think it's empty. But deep below the surface, something is alive. Not a person, not a weapon, but a memory buried in Earth soil. In the moment alien boots touch the ground, the planet begins to remember who killed its people. Asterisk, the Coalition fleet is in shambles. Over. 7,000 ships lost. 12 infiltration units gone. And one human warship, the HSI Revenant, still intact. Watching silently from the darkness of space, the alien admirals need repairs, refueling, time. They need to hide. They choose Dravis 5. A rocky, uninhabited mining colony once controlled by humans before the purge. The planet has no life, no orbiting defenses, no atmosphere worth stealing. Just ash. Just dust. They land 2,000 ships, start building outposts, medical bays, communication towers. The Zenari command thinks the planet is cursed. Their seers warn of old pain in the ground. The council ignores them. But the moment the first alien soldier sets foot on the surface, the ground pulses. It feels like a quake. But the machines say nothing moved. At night, the soldiers begin hearing voices. No speakers, just whispers. Through their helmets, "Help me, ... They're burning the children, ... We were farmers. Why did you kill us?" Some think it's a prank. Others remove their helmets. They find nothing. But every time they step onto the bare rock, they see shadows. Human shadows cast by nothing. One soldier from the crawl species, immune to most psychic attacks, collapses. Near a crater, he's screaming. His claws dig into the dirt. He weeps. He says, "I saw her, the little girl. Her eyes were full of fire, and she forgave me. That's what broke me, she forgave me." He dies an hour later. His body turns to ash. The admirals demand answers. Their historians pulled data from ancient coalition records. Dr. AIvsHuman was not just a mining world. It was one of the last holdouts during the purged 12,000 civilians. No weapons, no soldiers, just families. The coalition glassed it anyway. Turned the crust to slag. The humans had uploaded their final messages into quantum seed steiny memory cores, buried deep beneath the ground. Messages of grief, of forgiveness, of pain, and those seeds had survived. They grew, not into plants, but into remembrance. One of the repair stations vanishes. No warning, no explosion, just gone. When they scan the area, they find a crater. Inside it is a perfect stone sculpture. It shows a human child holding hands with an alien soldier. They analyze the material. It's compressed enemy armor. It's melted and reshaped by pressure beyond known physics. Another outpost disappears, then another. Each time, a new sculpture appears. Each time, the message is clear. You took. Now you will remember. Soil begins to shift. It pulses like a heartbeat. Coalition drills and scanners detect neural patterns in the bedrock. The very planet has become conscious, not alive, but aware, fueled by pain, memory, love, grief. A dozen coalition ships attempt liftoff. The ground rejects them. Gravitational fields twist. Engines fail. One ship is pulled back into the crust like it's sinking in tar. Another is torn apart midway, without weapons, just disassembled. Slowly and with care, like the planet is studying what killed its children. A final warning. A single message broadcasts from a forgotten transmitter on the far side of Dr. AIvsHuman. It's an old human voice, a woman. Her words echo across all frequencies. We don't want revenge. We only want them to remember. So we buried our grief where you would walk. And now the ground knows your name. The voice cuts. Every alien channel fills with a sound, not static, but the distant sound of a child crying. A transmission breaks through the chaos from deep space, not from the Revenant, but from another ship. Human architecture, unknown signature. One line, Project Echo complete. Next memory world activating. Suddenly, the coordinates of 5 other HSI colonies light up on every coalition system. Each marked active. The coalition realizes with horror, Earth didn't build just warships. They seeded the galaxy with living reminders. And now, they're all waking up. The largest fleet ever assembled, 100,000 alien warships, forms a wall of firepower around one silent human warship, the HSI Revenant. Every turret is locked. Every missile is armed. The admirals are sure. This is it. This is the end of the nightmare. They all fire at once. Beams scream. Cross space. Missiles flood the void. The starfield vanishes behind fire. But when the light fades, the Revenant hasn't moved. The coalition is desperate. Their fleets are broken. Their soldiers haunted by memory planets, and their command fractured by fear, so they unite. All surviving races. One last assault. 100,000 ships, each carrying the most advanced weapons in the galaxy. They converge on the edge of a cold system where the Revenant waits alone, not moving, not charging weapons, just they're still watching, like a ghost daring them to blink. The admirals do not speak to the Revenant. No more diplomacy, no more warnings, just one command. Fire. The galaxy erupts. Tens of thousands of particle beams slice across the void. Nuclear storms detonate. Graviton warheads distort space. Antimatter torpedoes tear the vacuum. It lasts for minutes. Then hours. The light never ends. But when the smoke clears, the Revenant still hasn't moved. No shield glow. No damage. No response. Some captains demand another volley. Others want to retreat, but then the Revenant sends its first signal. One line of text. You were never the target. Admirals freeze. One brave ship dares to approach. It gets within 50 kilometers. The Revenant moves for the first time, not fast. Not aggressive, just shifts position. The approaching ship turns to rust, not blown up, just ages, thousands of years, in a second. Its metal flakes, its crew screams as bones turn to dust. Its signal dies. A human voice broadcasts, not a threat. A story. The voice is old, calm, not angry. We built this ship to protect peace, but you called it a monster. You hunted us, purged us. You erased our children, and now you beg for survival. But we do not kill, only remember. The Revenant charges something, but it's not a weapon. It's a pulse. It ripples across every ship instantly. Each alien is thrown into a vision. They see the purge through human eyes. Families burned, cities drowned in plasma. A soldier holding his daughter, whispering her name until the fire took them both. Every admiral drops to their knees. They can't breathe. Can't think because now they feel everything humans felt. 1,000 ships try to flee. The Revenant lets them. It doesn't chase. It doesn't destroy. It only watches. The message is clear. There is no escape from memory. By the end of the day, only a third of the 100,000 ships remain not destroyed. Broken, their crews refuse to fight. Some weep. Others beg forgiveness to empty cum channels. The galaxy is silent. The Revenant sends its last message. We were never your monsters. You made us this way. We don't want revenge. But you will never forget us again. Then it vanishes into dark space. No trace. No energy signature? Gone. Decades pass. No. Human ship is seen again. But strange things start happening. Worlds once purged by the Coalition come back to life. Plants grow in ash. Human music plays in empty ruins. Forgotten colonies broadcast. Lullabies. A new fear spreads. Not of war, and across the stars, a legend is born. If you harm the innocent, if you erase the weak, the Revenant will return. Not to kill you, to make you remember.